Hi, this is Katerina Satori, and in this video, I'd like to share with you my perspective on how to deal with self-sabotage. Look, it will show up at every level of our liberation, mastery, success. Self-sabotage is that thing that fires up within you whenever you reach a level of success that you are not used to yet. Believe it or not, our nervous system gets to be trained gradually to expand, right? There is a great book called The Big Leap. I recommend it to every person who dares to live an extraordinary life. And it talks about this invisible ceiling to next level of expansion that we have within. And it can relate to the level of success our parents achieved. And you can have this inner mechanism that prevents you to go beyond your parents' success. This is a karmic experience there. But basically, we get to train our nervous system to become more and more at ease with expansion. This is huge. If we don't do that, we end up creating self-sabotage. And what it looks like, we may start numbing, we may start being late for crucial appointments, we may get into some chaotic relationships, but basically we start getting into our own way. Have you ever been there? I've been there plenty of times. I'll reach a powerful point of expansion, whether it's financial expansion or expansion of the business. And if my nervous system is not used to that, I watch me just being drawn to a situation that pulls me back to the old level. So the very first change, the very first step is to become aware of that inner mechanism. It could be your subconscious pattern, it could be your unconscious pattern, but the first step to changing anything in your life is to become aware, right? The second step is to prime your nervous system for expansion and hold intention that you will expand harmoniously, organically. One of the simple practices that I'm going to offer you in this video, it's a beautiful process where you just take 30 seconds. Well, if you want to go deeper, take 60 seconds, right? Where you lay down or you sit down, whatever is more comfortable for you. You put your hands on your heart. You start connecting with your heart. This is the center of your deeper wisdom and your deeper intelligence. And you say to yourself this: it is safe to expand. I am safe to expand. It is safe to expand. And not only saying it, but really enter into this state of being that you would have when you knew with absolute confidence that it's safe for you to expand even more than you're already expanding. This very much relates to the inner child work, because inner child is that vulnerable and innocent part of our psyche that actually is connected to our creativity. So a lot of times people will say, do the inner child work. And I would totally agree. Inner child work is one of the most healing form of self-therapy that you can do with yourself. So it's a similar process, but your inner child holds the key to your nervous system, right? So it's very, very powerful to prime your nervous system for expansion. And probably the final point that I will make is learning to become aware with your habits and patterns. What are you leaning into when you are standing on the threshold of a next courageous leap? Are you leaning into habits and patterns that nourish you and support you to prepare for this next leap? Or are you being pulled by your shadow towards the habits and patterns that are actually going to drain you and derail you? That's called the self-sabotage, right? And the key here is not to judge yourself. If you begin to judge yourself and beat yourself up, you pretty much freeze your process. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience. I am a recovering perfectionist, recovering a person who tends to be very hard on myself because I have these big goals and high standards and all of that, right? So I've learned that if I simply judge myself for sabotage, or if I judge myself for numbing, I'm not going to move anywhere. I'm just going to be stuck in the experience. But if I become aware, oh my goodness, when I am stressed, overwhelmed, and under supported, this is what I do to make myself feel better fast, right? And I can become aware, what would really nourish me? What would really nourish me? What I'm learning, and maybe you're discovering that too. When we are stressed and overwhelmed, what would really nourish us is physical touch, right? What would really nourish us is a connection. What would really nourish us is some breath and some time in nature. So when you notice yourself in your old pattern of numbing and avoiding connection, avoiding touch, avoiding nature and breath work, this is your cue to lean towards that, right? And just say, oh my gosh, look at me. Here I go, self-sabotaging myself again, right? Being afraid of success. That's another way to describe this when people ask me, Katerina, what do you do if you have fear of success? Fear of success, to me, from my perspective, is simply a sign that we have not done the work to prepare our nervous system for expansion. This is how simple it is. And you can start now, right? You can start now to do this work. So this was, that's what I wanted to share in this video, right? How to become more effective, moving yourself through self-sabotage without judging, without blaming, without being too hard on yourself, acknowledging yourself, I am human. This is what I do when I'm overwhelmed in the past. Now, what would truly nourish me? And this little shift will really move you forward. And remember the practice that I gave you, it is safe to expand. It is safe to expand. And it could be just like your inner process that you start in the morning or at night. It will bring big changes in your life.